"Hey beautiful, I'm arriving soon. Can you handle me?" The words linger like a promise carried on the evening breeze. I ride through the golden dusk, the world draped in silks of amber and crimson, and every beat of my heart whispers your name. I have crossed lands where time itself seemed to pause, for even the stars bowed when I spoke of you. My arrival is not just the return of a prince, it is the meeting of fate with longing. You are the reason the moon delays her rise, the reason my sword feels lighter, my crown less heavy. I imagine you waiting, the gentle wind playing with your hair, unaware that every mile I conquer brings me closer to the moment your eyes meet mine. My soul has worn armor and silence for far too long, but tonight I come not as a ruler, I come as a man undone by your grace. The world may call me their prince, but before you, I am only a traveler seeking home in your eyes. So when I say, "Can you handle me?" know that it is not a challenge, it is a vow. A vow that no kingdom, no power, no destiny could keep me from you. The journey has tested me in ways even the throne could not. Each sunrise brought me the warmth of your memory, and each nightfall, the ache of your absence. I have faced storms that bowed mountains and winds that tore banners apart, yet none could rival the tempest you stir within my heart. You are not merely the thought that guides me, you are the pulse that reminds me I am still alive beneath this armor of duty. I have met kings whose eyes glittered with gold and queens whose voices dripped with power, but none possessed what you hold so effortlessly, serenity. When I close my eyes, I see not palaces or battles won, I see your smile, soft yet fierce like the light that breaks through 1,000 shadows. In that moment, every crown loses its shine, every jewel turns to dust, because nothing compares to the quiet majesty of you. You have been my unseen strength, the silent echo behind every victory. When I stood before armies, it was your faith that steadied my sword. When I was lost in the noise of endless courtly demands, it was your memory that called me back to myself. I learned then that love is not weakness, it is the purest kind of power, one that does not command but inspires. You have ruled me more completely than any kingdom ever could. Now, as I draw closer to you, I wonder if time has been kind to the dreams we once whispered. Have you kept them folded in your heart as I have? Or have they grown, wild and radiant, like roses untamed by distance? I bring with me no jewels, no spoils of war, only a heart heavy with longing and eyes searching for the peace that only your presence can give. The night before my return, I stood beneath a sky crowded with stars. Each one seemed to burn with a secret, as though the heavens themselves conspired to prepare for our meeting. I thought of how the world changes when love walks through its doors, how even silence begins to sing. Tomorrow, when I see you again, I will not speak first. I will let my gaze say what 1,000 letters could not. If you knew how often I've written your name upon the fog glass of my tent window, you'd understand how far I've fallen for the thought of you. The soldiers think me proud and distant, but they do not see the man who trembles when he imagines your touch. I have been many things: warrior, ruler, son of a dynasty, but none of them matter beside the simple truth that I am yours. And when I finally stand before you, the world will fade as softly as the last light of evening. The air will carry the scent of rain and jasmine, the same as the night we first met. I will take your hand not as a prince claiming his right, but as a man surrendering to his heart. In that moment, the kingdom will no longer be my realm. You will. The night feels heavy with promise, as though the stars themselves await our reunion. Every sound, every flicker of wind carries your name through the still air, reminding me that even the universe seems to bend toward you. My heart, once disciplined by duty, now beats to the rhythm of longing, not for glory, not for power, but for the quiet of your presence. I have crossed kingdoms and deserts, yet nothing has demanded more courage than the patience of being apart from you. I often wonder if you still stand by the balcony where the moonlight once found us. I imagine you there, the wind tracing the outline of your hair, your eyes lifted to the horizon, as though searching for me. If you only knew how many times I have looked at that same moon, believing it to be the one bridge that connects us, you would know that I have never truly been gone. My journey was not a departure. It was a circle, always leading back to you. In the silence of my chambers, surrounded by maps and letters sealed with royal crests, it is your voice I hear the loudest. You speak to me in memory, in the ghost of laughter that lingers between thoughts. It is strange. The world calls me their prince, yet before your image I am simply a man stripped of crowns, humbled by the weight of love. You have undone me without ever lifting a sword. Sometimes I think of the world we could have built if I had been born without the burden of a throne. A simpler life, perhaps, where my hands were not trained for battle, but to hold you without fear of consequence. But then I realize, even amidst the grandeur and the chaos, you are my simplicity, my quiet. The rest of the world can roar and scheme. When I think of you, all becomes still. There are whispers in the palace that I have changed, that my voice has softened, my eyes seem distant. They are right. They mistake it for fatigue, but it is devotion. For what they do not see is that love reshapes a man more deeply than war ever could. I have learned that strength does not come from the sword, but from the courage to kneel before the one who holds your heart. If fate allows, I will return not with parades or banners, but in silence, the kind that only two souls who have waited too long can understand. I will find you before dawn, when the sky is still fragile and the world has not yet woken. I will stand behind you, not to startle, but to let my presence melt into the rhythm of your breathing. You won't need to turn, you will know. You have always known, and when our eyes meet, the years between us will collapse like sand between fingers. Every unanswered letter, every sleepless night will dissolve in that single heartbeat. I will take your hand and place it over my chest, so you can feel what I have carried through every battle, every exile, the proof that even a prince's heart belongs to someone beyond crowns and destiny. You, always you. The days are slower now, weighed down by the nearness of destiny. Every sunrise feels like a rehearsal for the moment our paths cross again. The palace prepares for my return, but I prepare only for you. Courtiers speak of ceremonies and councils, yet I hear only the echo of your laughter in the corridors of my mind. My soul is restless, pacing like a caged lion, not from hunger for conquest, but from yearning for peace, a peace that wears your face. Last night, I dreamed of your touch. It was not a dream of grandeur or crown, but of simplicity, your hand brushing against mine, the kind of moment kings would trade empires to feel. I awoke with the scent of your memory clinging to my breath, and for a moment, I could not tell where the dream ended and life began. The age of your absence is a strange kind of sweetness, one that humbles even a prince. The path before me glitters with moonlight, and I can almost feel your presence in the air. Every step I take feels guided by something unseen, as though destiny itself is weaving its threads around us, pulling me closer to the one truth that has outlived every battle and every storm, that love, when pure, is its own form of royalty. You are the crown I never earned, but always desired. When I reach the gates, I will not arrive as a monarch. My armor will bear the dust of the road, and my hands will tremble not from fatigue, but anticipation. The world will expect a prince returning to his throne, yet I will be a man returning to the only throne that matters, your heart. For in your gaze I have found the kind of home no palace could ever provide. How strange that power once defined me. I commanded armies, signed decrees, and bore the weight of nations. But now I find myself craving not obedience, but understanding, not adoration, but belonging. And I realize perhaps love is the truest kingdom of all, one that demands surrender rather than conquest. You have ruled me without crown or command, only by being everything the world told me I could never have. I have written 1,000 speeches for the day I would stand before my people again, yet none feel true. The only words that live honestly within me are those meant for you. I want to tell you that my victories mean nothing without your gaze to witness them, that every honor bestowed upon me feels hollow beside the warmth of your voice. You are the anthem I wish to carry into every dawn, the prayer I whisper before every battle. And when we meet, the air itself will hold its breath. The torches will flicker, not from wind, but from awe. The earth will remember the sound of two souls, recognizing what time tried to erase. And I, once a prince shaped by destiny, will finally become something greater, a man complete, because he has found his forever in you. The dawn rises slowly, like a curtain being drawn from the face of destiny. The gates of the city shimmer beneath the pale light, and the air carries the murmurs of 1,000 hearts awaiting my return. Yet as the people gather and banners unfurl, my eyes search only for one soul, yours. The noise of celebration fades into silence, and in that silence I feel the pull of something ancient and sacred, as if the heavens themselves conspire to bring me to you. When I finally see you, time forgets to move. The world dissolves into light and breath, and I am left standing at the edge of eternity. You stand where the morning meets the earth, the first rays of sunlight resting upon your face like a blessing. I take a step, then another, as though each one must be earned. My voice deserts me, only my heart speaks, and it calls your name louder than any cheer of the crowd. The distance between us closes, not through movement, but through fate. When I reach you, I bow my head, not as a prince greeting his queen, but as a man returning to the source of his strength. The moment our eyes meet, I feel every promise I ever made ignite within me again. The wars, the exile, the endless nights, they all dissolve into a single truth. I was made to find you, to kneel before you, to love you beyond the reach of time. You reach out, your hand trembling slightly, and when our fingers touch, the years apart fall away like dust from forgotten pages. Your touch is the calm after centuries of storm. I feel your breath tremble, your heart steady against mine, and I know, in this moment, the universe has completed its circle. The crown upon my brow feels heavy, unnecessary. Your presence alone is the only glory I will ever seek. The crowd watches, but they cannot understand. To them, this is the prince's triumph, the end of a tale. But to us, this is only the beginning. The quiet return of two souls who defied time itself. I lift your hand and press it to my lips, not as a gesture of royalty, but of reverence. I whisper your name as though it were a prayer I've said in every lifetime before this one. As the sun climbs higher, I lead you through the gardens that once bloomed in your memory. Every flower bends gently as we pass, and the air smells of rain and jasmine, just as it did when our story began. I tell you softly of the places I've been, of the roads I've walked, but my words always return to you, like rivers seeking their ocean. You listen, your eyes glistening like dawn over water, and I know I am home. And when night falls again, and the stars rise to witness what destiny has restored, I stand beside you on the balcony, overlooking the silent world. I take your hand and whisper that no empire, no eternity could ever match the grace of this single moment. The prince the world awaited has returned, yes, but the man within him has found his peace, and that peace, my love, is you.